Ottcast.
It's an Ottcast. It's a podcast for otters.
Yay!
Because we're otters.
We're otters.
Welcome to the Ottcast, the Jenna Julien Podcast.
Where we talk about things like our favorite rock, and then we put it in our otter pocket.
The built-in pocket.
And then you hold on to the sea kelp so that you don't float away.
But if you have another otter, you just hold on to their otter little fin.
You hold on to their hand, and then you don't float away.
It's really cute.
Otters.
Otters.
Ottercast.
We call each other otters. Because of that, we think it's really cute.
Otter.
I know, it's gross. Guys,
Ew.
be appropriate. You're at work now.
Ew. Stop trying to have a relationship with me.
Stop trying to have a relationship with me.
This guy's trying to have a relationship with me.
Welcome, everyone, to the Jenna Julien Podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Five.
Hi, five. Five.
Hi,
Actual and five. Well, today is, we decided we would talk about something that happened today, which was kind of a big event that a lot of people were talking about, which is the Apple Spring Forward conference that, went on, unveiling a new line of computers and giving a lot more information to the new Apple Watch that people have been really excited about, including us. We're not going to lie. We ever since we
my body's so ready for that fucking Apple Watch.
Yeah.
And our friend Bing keeps making fun of us because he's like, no, dude, it's the first generation. The battery life doesn't even last a whole day.
Well, she's right.
He's not wrong. Like, there are smartwatches available on the market now that are probably, they could do things better in some aspects than the Apple Watch does. But I don't really care because I've been really pumped about it because I really just want to hook up my heart rate to your heart rate
and then
realize
pictures.
How much more caffeinated I am than you.
And you can draw little pictures.
Yeah.
Little dick pics, just draw it.
Yeah, just draw you a dick over and over and over.
Well, I think a lot of people are in your train of thought. Like, they don't really care. They just want
really
it.
Excited.
Yeah. And I think another thing is back in November or whenever they had their October, when they had the last event, they were like, early 2015, we're going to have these watches.
What a fucking lie that was. Guys, do you know what early means? Fuck off.
Yeah, so, obviously there had to have been some production issue.
Something was going on because you'd go on the website and it would still say early
2015.
I'm like, hello,
like
do
the
you know
last
what
3 months it said that.
Fucking dicks.
Yeah.
Here's my money. Should I throw it at you? Like, fuck, man. Take it.
We'll get to that because a lot of money is going to be thrown with these watches. But I wanted...
Some of them are fucking a pretty penny, man.
Yeah. Well, Jenna brought up that our friend Bing was talking about how there are other watches that do plenty more that are worth your buck. And I want to be more educated on the smartwatch world because I looked at CES when it happened this year and I was just kind of browsing around, but nothing too serious. And I've seen talent out there. There's some cool stuff. I think the problem I have is and I'm a little confused, is that iPhones are a huge portion of the cell phone market, massive. They're the monopoly, right? I mean, they're the majority.
I have no idea.
I would assume. I don't
think globally.
Maybe not globally. Okay, well, whatever. They have a big piece of the cell phone wireless device market. And if it confuses me that I on the little research that I've done on these watches, I've seen so many cool ideas and so many cool devices that none of them work with iPhones.
Is that right?
Well, none of the ones that I've seen. I've seen so many that are
Samsung has one.
There's a lot of Android, Samsung, things like that. But then there's a lot of smartwatches that don't connect to the phone.
Right.
That are just standalone.
Well, yeah, but the whole argument about Apple versus, an Android or whatever is that you're just buying into the operating system. So I feel like I'm in the school of people we don't really fucking care that you guys have had it for years before we have, or that it works better, or that it does cooler stuff. We really just we care about the Apple operating system, and we're kind of fucking spoiled brats. Once you get a fucking iPhone, then you want an iPad and you want your fucking Mac computer, or in any of that order.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You sort of fall in love with the operating system, and you don't want to be doing fucking different shit. Remember I was given a tablet, and I'm not going to say what tablet.
Yeah, I remember.
But it was not an Apple operating system. What was it? I don't let's
just
not.
Yeah, it was different.
And I hated it. I just didn't want to use it. I was like, I just want to put my coffee on this. I don't like it. It feels wrong. And I don't care if it does better stuff. Like, it really infuriates me every day. And mind you, like most people, although I don't know about you, but like maybe around my age, you know, we went maybe from like super old Macs to Windows because Windows was fucking the jam.
Yeah,
we had to. It was everywhere. Yeah. And then as we got older, made a choice to go back to Mac.
Yeah.
But like my uncle had a super duper duper old Mac computer. He like put in the floppy disk or whatever. And you fucking do shit that way.
Floppy disk.
But then Windows, you know, surpassed it so much that, you know, if you want to play computer games or anything, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
You better get yourself a PC, homie.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was a big deal. Like when I was in college, it was still sort of like, oh, really? Like you want to use a Mac computer?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do that? Because it's kind of a fucking pain in the ass. And I'm like, can you just not? Can you shut up? Because I really want to use iMovie, you dick. That's how I started making videos. But I think, like, I'm just excited for this stupid fucking watch because although some of them are way overpriced because you're paying for rose gold and bullshit, like that fucking 17 grand or whatever, the dick, like, get out of my face. But, you know, $300 or so for a smartwatch that will sync with your phone and do the coolest shit ever. I'm sorry, I just read today that you can order an Uber with your watch and, like, do cool ass shit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking $300 for a watch, yeah?
No, yeah, absolutely. And honestly, like, I think it goes back to what you were saying about how Apple, like, a long time ago when they really started, you know, to corner the market with their iPhones and everything, it's the user-friendly interface. Right. That's what gets people, like, my grandma can use an iPhone and understand what's happening. Yeah, it's like, and it's only gotten easier and only gotten smoother. And so it's really, like, it's like you said, it's gotten to the point where if you have an iPhone, you don't want to have a different tablet or a different computer. You need everything to be uniform because it all is so seamless between devices. Like, it really is that way. And so as much as I get frustrated by the fact that I feel like the Apple Watch is going to be limited in some ways,
for sure,
I do have to remember that if I'm going to be using my iPhone and then using some separate watch, it is going to be more of a pain to not have that, I don't know, the uniform. But, you know, who knows? I mean, I feel like I'll probably get one of the base models, which is, so what you were saying is like, I showed Jenna the prices earlier.
Oh my fucking God,
it gets up to around $17,000 because
what's ridiculous is that, you know, that's like, there are some people that want to buy that watch.
Yeah. And I think it's
they're pieces of shit.
It's absolutely insane. And I think Apple knows it's insane. You know what I mean? But they're going to sell out of those because people, I mean, it really is a status thing. Yeah. And there's enough people who have the money to buy that. Oh, but God. So there's like a sport version. There's like a regular version.
It's a rose gold first generation Apple Watch.
I mean, what happens if you have like a $17K watch that you buy from Apple? Like, this isn't a watch that you like go to the jewelers and buy. Like, this is a smartwatch. So what happens if you get a crack in the screen?
You know what? Yeah.
Or what happens if like the operating system just breaks? What happens
if they come up with the second generation?
17,000, like that's an insane.
Oh, it's just so dumb.
But you know what it is? It is, you know, they're entering the watch market, which the watch market's a lot like that.
Right.
Where it's like you're paying stupid money for something that does nothing.
Right, but part of the reason why like Rolex and things like that are so expensive is because they're making all those tiny little gears, and like the way that they create watches is fucking art. Why are you laughing?
No, because Apple's the opposite. It's all digital. There's none of that craftsmanship.
There's no craftsmanship whatsoever. I mean, you can watch that video over and over again about their little diamond sapphire or whatever glass and blah blah blah. But when you boil it down, it's a small little computer covered in rose gold,
which is a different kind of craftsmanship, but it's not the kind that sells for $17,000.
Let me ask you a question. What would you pay for a solid rose gold Generation 1 iPod with a click wheel? It's
probably $15,000.
Craftsmanship, though, Julian.
I know.
Click wheel.
The click wheel. I mean, 5 different people worked on that click wheel for like months.
What would you pay for a gold-plated rotary telephone?
Is the spirally cord gold too?
Yes.
17,000.
What would you pay for a gold-plated banana phone?
Banana phone?
Yeah, once you peel it though and you eat it, it's gone.
What, do I get an extra banana for reference to make sure it's the right size? I don't know.
Like it's just a little ridiculous.
No, it's a very funny point that you brought that up. Like,
there's no resale value. There's no craftsmanship. Like, you know, a lot of times with jewelry and things like that, when you buy gold, it holds its value over, generations. That's why a lot of people keep jewelry in safes. They turn into family heirlooms because it's like, something that if you gave it to your granddaughter or whatever, it would still be a valuable little thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's like some fucking Paris Hilton, necklace or whatever.
Yeah.
In which case you might want to fucking get a bodyguard for it.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, when you buy jewelry and gold and that sort of thing, like a watch, like in our brains, we're like, all right, yeah, okay, maybe if you bought a fucking Rolex, it's whatever. You got to find somebody that wants like a vintage Rolex if you want to make your money back. You're never going to ever have any sort of way to make 17 grand back off of your fucking Apple Watch.
I doubt it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really don't think it's the type of thing that...
Unless it turns into a collector's item, in which case no one gives a shit. Like, give me a person that wants to buy even old... anything that's technology-wise.
Nothing. Everything goes away so fast. Everything gets outdated so fast.
Right.
No, you're right.
It's no longer jewelry. It's more wearable technology at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Because you can't, as much as you want to, and as much gold as you want to put on an Apple Watch, it's not jewelry.
Right.
It's technology.
Well, it's like, this is so unrelated, but it is in my mind. But, when we drive to this hike that's in Encino. And we drove past this giant fucking house, which I had seen on, what's that show? $1 Million Listing.
Yeah, $1 Million Listing.
And Josh, the little whatever, he's hysterical in my opinion. One of the people on that show, they basically sell these really expensive houses. And this makeup artist had built himself this like $15 million mansion in a neighborhood where houses go for like $1 to $2 million. It's what Rome calls king of the dipshits.
Yeah, well
it's
put,
like
Rome.
A giant fucking McMansion in a weird location.
Yeah.
Like just sort of whatever. And when we drove past it for the first time, I was like, hey, that's that house that I saw. It was still on the market for sale because the guy had literally covered like, the toilets and things in gold. And he's like, yeah, I put like $20 million into this house. I want 15 for it. Sell it for me. And he's like, nobody wants this. That's what I feel like the Apple Watch covered in gold is. It's like, you're going to pay.
Everyone else next to him has the regular Apple Watch, the regular houses, and he bought a gold one.
Stupid money. And then you're going to be like, hello, who wants this? Like, nobody? Yeah, sir, nobody. Nobody wants your stupid gold Apple Watch.
The people who are buying that gold one are the people who, for them, it's worth, saying goodbye to that money for, like, it's a year. It's about a year because the next version is coming out. And if you have that much stupid money to spend on one watch, the next version you're going to buy too.
Right.
And so it's all about, in your mind, it's all about, saying, this is the new thing, a first of its kind. Look at me, I have it.
Right. Well, it's basic just fucking like utility. If you're going to spend, a lot of money on an expensive piece of jewelry, you have to figure out, how much am I actually going to wear this? If I wear it every day for fucking 20 years, maybe I'll get my money out of it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to wear it for a year and it's $17,000, you sir are making very shitty purchases.
Yeah. Not smart. Yep.
Like think about a pair of sneakers or something. You pay $100 for a pair of sneakers.
Yeah.
I can get 2-3 years out of those bad boys because you rotate them out. You know what I mean? So you can use your older ones to go do shitty outdoor shit, and then your newer ones when you don't want to
you make the most of them.
Get gross stuff all over your house.
Yeah.
And all over the place. But like, where are you getting $17,000 worth out of that?
Yeah.
How much does it cost to make that if they're charging $17,000?
Not $17,000.
It probably costs $1,000 to make
if
it.
That. I mean, it might be like, it depends on which one, because the reason it goes up to 17 is because of some of the wristbands that are going with it. Like,
but they're like leather.
Yeah, or like maybe sterling silver, which isn't $17K. Like,
I just don't understand where $17,000 comes from.
Yeah, I don't either. I think it's a shock what they did. Like, these prices are shocking.
Is it going to come preloaded with Bono's whole fucking
I feel
YouTube
shocked. Yeah, no, they're going to airdrop Bono's album on it without your permission.
No. Okay, so Bono is going to be one of the people that has a $17,000 Apple Watch preloaded with his whole album, and he doesn't even want it.
He doesn't even want it. Like, why?
He's like, yes, but why would I wear this?
I didn't agree to this. Oh my God. Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're both going to get the base model, most likely.
Yeah.
And
well, even still, I mean, $300 for a watch.
It's a hefty penny. I mean, for a lot of people, it's like...
Well, yeah. It's a little bit ridiculous whenever you spend that much money on technology because you know that it can be phased out
It's like
quickly.
an iPhone. Yeah, you're basically buying an iPhone.
Yeah, so, but I'm thinking, like, when I bought a fuel band, when you bought a fuel band, how much did that cost or whatever?
$120.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, a third of the price, but I would say that I got a third of the use out of a fucking fuel band. I'm sorry, but I didn't really understand that fuel points were a made-up fucking system.
They made an arbitrary measurement.
Yeah, I was like... I thought fuel, it would sort of, like, give you an idea of, like, how many calories you could eat that day or something. Yeah. But I'm like,
it's completely arbitrary.
What is What is this? I don't understand. What is a fuel point? Like, what?
I like the fuel band, but you're right. It's complete, like, who the fuck signed off? And then every time you go to, like, the fuel band website, it's like, you, like, search. You're like, okay, what is fuel? Can someone point me to what this is? And there's no information because they don't have to. They're like, oh, we made it up. Fuck you. You can guys. Figure it out. You can buy it because I know you're going to buy it.
Yeah, but you can dance with it on.
Yeah.
It's also...
I mean, it's fun because you, like, compete with your friends. You can share. It's a smart marketing thing, but it doesn't mean it's correct.
Agreed. But also, I found that, like, the pedometer was a little bit off. Like, it wasn't exactly accurate.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I could sit on my stationary bike and cycle for hours. And it would say that I didn't do anything today, which bothers me. Do you know what I mean? Like, am I supposed to bike like this?
It's not an effective device. I mean, it's you know what its limits are.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I spent $100 on a fuel band, like a lot of people did, because it was exciting that it existed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it synced with some of your other things. You could use it with your phone.
Yep.
You could fucking, do cool shit. And for, the year or two, I think I used it for like
2 years.
2 years solid. I loved it. So in my opinion, I got my $100
absolutely. We both
out
did.
Of my Nike
we
fuel
wore
band.
those things all the time. Yeah.
So $300 is not my favorite price to pay for a fucking computer watch.
Yeah.
But like in my brain, as long as I fucking like, I don't know. I'm just one of those people. If you spend the money on something, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my fucking money's worth, man. I'm gonna order like 8 fucking Ubers right now from my watch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to draw Julian a picture of a dick from my watch all day, every day. I'm going to send you, like, because I want to get my fucking money's worth.
You know what they're going to There's not a camera on it, though, is there?
I don't think so. But that's so weird.
It is.
Well, how would you even take a picture with it?
Well, the Samsung, or I don't even know what. You remember Sam, Chase's brother, came over and he had it that one time? And he was like, basically... It's like fucking James Bond. You looking at the screen and it's taking a picture that way, and you tap it to take a picture. I mean, it's obviously a crappy camera.
Oh, dude, I forgot. Did I forget to fucking show you this thing? It's basically a wristband. I watched a video, and I'm having a hard time understanding like what level of existence it is.
Okay.
Because I can't remember the fucking name. I'm kicking myself right now. I watched a whole video about it, but it links with your smartphone. You wear this little bracelet. And then it, like, basically projects your phone screen onto your forearm.
What?
And you can use it as if it was...
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Is it a concept or does it exist?
I think it, like, might exist, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's insane.
Do you want to Google it?
Yeah.
Just Google it right now.
Right,
and I'll talk about what else it does. But basically, this video was like, oh, here's some uses for this thing. And there's a guy on his bike, and then all of a sudden he just like taps his forearm and then like swipes across his phone screen. There's another dude like in a bathtub. Yeah, what is it?
Secret bracelet.
What's it called?
Projects your Android onto your wrist.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
See what I mean? I'm not kidding.
Oh my God, he's like pinching a map on his wrist.
Right.
So it detects your touch. Oh, this is creepy.
Right? So, like, this is...
Circlet, yeah.
Yeah. Google that if you guys want to watch a cool video. If anything, it's a cool video.
Yeah. I'm not going to watch it right now, but see pictures, it's crazy.
Like, obviously... things exist or people are coming up with concepts that would be much more functional than just a watch that's like got some apps on it.
Yeah,
do you know
for
what
sure,
I mean?
for sure.
And like, I think it's weird to have a camera on your wrist and then like what you can only take a selfie like this.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I think
Or a picture of
it's very likely that the next version of the Apple Watch will have a camera on it. I feel like for the first version, they wanted to focus on more important things because when it comes down to it, yes, it's very cool that you can have a camera on your watch, but it's important to have the accessibility, the touch, the dial. It's important to have the connectivity. Like they focused on the real core things, but. Yeah, I mean, like when I saw Sam's, I was very unimpressed. I was like, oh, it's a crappy picture of someone who doesn't want you to take a picture because it's on your watch. So I don't really, I mean,
yeah. But Apple also, because, I think they just really need to get them out there at this point because
they're really late to the game.
They're losing their market share. Because they're getting tired of waiting for an Apple Watch and they're going to things like.
Absolutely.
Whatever
they're like me. They've had their, they just want a watch. I want wearable tech. Like I wear my Nike watch and everyone's like, oh, is that the new? And I'm like, no, this is like 3 years old. It maybe sometimes gets your GPS when you're running and it's a brick on top of my arm. Like I need a new smartwatch. I had one of those
and I couldn't wear it because it was too big for
It's too big. I mean, I love it, but I'm like ready to have a smartwatch. Like everyone has smartwatches and I'm like sitting here. Everyone has smartwatches and I'm just sitting here without a smartwatch.
Meanwhile, my actual watch, I pulled out one of the things, like in a watch where you pull out the dial to like stop or like adjust the time. Yeah. There's like 3 things on it and like one of them you have to push in and then pull out. And I forgot the order in which you have to do it. So it just stopped telling time.
Nice.
So someone will be like, what time is it? And I'm like, I forgot how this works. So, oops.
It's right twice a day.
Oops. But yeah, I'm ready for the Apple Watch, and I want the sport one. I don't understand.
I want the sport one too. What the heck?
I mean, at this point, a lot of people like to wear their watch or something to the gym because, like, you bring your phone to the gym. Like, you bring your technology with you to the gym.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you do any sort of physical activity, it's hard for me to understand why you wouldn't buy a sport watch because you can get, like, you can switch out some of the fucking bands, right?
Yeah. They're all the bands are interchangeable.
But it's fucking cheaper. And the plastic bands or the like colorful ones or whatever.
They're dope.
They seem cooler than
They seem way cooler and it's like
ones.
Customizable. Like third parties are going to make a killing on the bands. Third party companies, they're going to, I mean, that's the huge market they just opened up.
When I had the iPod mini or whatever.
Yeah.
I bought the little watch band that you could.
The Nano.
Yeah, the Nano, sorry. Yeah,
with the screen.
Can slide
that was a big thing,
into the watch. And then I had one of those watches for a long time, but it was just my iPod.
Yeah, that was like the beta Apple Watch.
Right, exactly. And the worst part about it was like if you wanted to listen to it, you had to be plugged into your wrist. Yeah. That was a little annoying.
What are you doing? Being an idiot?
No, yeah. No, I'd be like on a walk, and I'm like, I got my headphones. I'll just listen to my watch, basically. Yeah. So I'd plug it in, and I start walking the dogs, and it would just rip it out of my ear. Like,
it's just dysfunctional to the core.
It was so bad. Ugh. Oh my god, it was so bad. Plus, like, the screen wouldn't really stay on or whatever. Yeah. So, like, oh, what time is it? What kind of watch is that? Oh, it's just an iPod. Cool. What time is it? Like, hold on. Let me get to the time screen.
My headphones just fell out. 1 sec. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, well, while we're on the theme of Apple and what happened today, you haven't heard about the new MacBooks?
No.
All right.
Well, I heard Brett talking about them.
Okay, no. I want to talk to you about this because it's interesting.
Okay.
They released a line of new MacBooks, and then this is the first time, I think, in like few years that they have named something a MacBook. It's either been MacBook Pro or MacBook Air in the last 3 years or so. I don't know exactly. But it's a MacBook. It's very, very thin. People are even calling it the MacBook Air because it looks so thin. But it's they have it in gold, space gray, and silver, like the iPhones now.
Right.
And
touchscreen.
It's not touchscreen.
I mean, like, can you hold your thumb onto it and then it unlocks for you? I'm kidding.
No, there's a Retina display. And one of the biggest, I want to get to something kind of, I think, is a little interesting to talk about after this, but they have a new touch sensor, the trackpad. It's like a force technology. So like you can press different levels of hard to like do different things. So you can
break it faster?
No. The opposite. You press.
So you can rage quit.
You push more. Faster. You push more with more force to do certain tasks.
Got it.
And you basically like have 10 times the control of the normal trackpad. So it's very cool. Like I watched the keynote. It's very cool. The thing that I think is a little odd is they literally have one port on the entire computer.
What?
Let me explain. It's called USB-C, USB-C, right?
I'm over it already.
And if it's a charger, the new charger, of course, not the MagSafe.
Right.
It's a new one. If it's a USB, if it's HDMI, so it fits all the ones you would need, but there's only one. And I think, hold on, I think, and at first I was like that too. I said, what the fuck, and here's the thing. It's got 15 something big battery life, like a long battery life, because they literally cleaned out the whole interior of the computer and put extra batteries in.
It's never long enough.
But you're right, it's never long enough. But a lot of people are like, wait, what if I want to like have my iPod or iPhone plugged in and my charger plugged in, or what if I want to be, anything besides charging my thing? What if? And it doesn't make the most sense. But at the same time, this thing is like a $1,300 machine, and college students are buying this. Like people who don't do shit where you have a million devices plugged in are buying this. So in other words, you or me, we would never buy this. It makes zero sense. We edit, we have drives, we have. You can't. This is for the casual. Oh, I need Microsoft Word. I have Facebook. I'm on, mail.
Unless somebody makes a charger that then has extra USB.
They do. Apple is going to sell it for like $50.
Okay.
So it's just an attachment. But I guess what they were trying to do is like really throw it in our face that like this $1,300 Retina display with this insane technology and battery and new everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a million ports. You're getting one, and it's going to work with everything, but you're going to figure out the best way to make it work. So this is me playing devil's advocate, like Apple's advocate. This is me thinking how they're thinking in my own mind.
Okay, can I play the other advocate?
Yeah, do it. Let's do it.
Fuck off. Why are you going to fucking do that? Fuck off. You're telling me that I have choice. I have the choice of plugging in my computer or anything else. That's my choice. If I want to plug in one thing, I'll get an iPad and I'll plug it into the wall. Fuck off.
I have a question though.
What? But I don't understand why you can justify selling a laptop without giving us the ability to plug in the shit that you already sold us.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm playing devil's advocate, but
no, I know you are, and I'm not angry at you.
Yeah. If you think about it, anyone who's doing something serious on a computer, isn't doing it on a laptop.
Well, yeah, maybe they're trying to separate their markets. They're trying to upsell these people into buying.
Like they're setting themselves up to unveil the most insane MacBook Pro there ever is. Like at their next event, they're going to unveil a MacBook Pro with the new touch thing, except it's going to be fucking a little thicker. It's going to last like 2 fucking days. It's going to have 3 ports on each side. Like it's going to be like not the real Mac Pro, but it's going to be the portable version of the best thing you can get from Mac.
Right, but then so this is like such a vicious love-hate relationship cycle with Apple.
I agree.
Is that they convince you that something is so sleek and simple and sexy, so you buy it, and then they put out something that's more functional.
Well, it makes that irrelevant and makes that obsolete. Yeah, that's what they do. Right. They're doing it to themselves, but it's not a bad plan.
Well, I just want to know, because Brett was really excited about the laptop, because he doesn't currently have a laptop. Yeah. And I think someone like Brett is a perfect example of who could really use that computer and find it nice and functional.
That's the perfect computer for Brett.
Right, because you don't need to plug in 8 billion things into it.
Yep, and even if you do, that battery life will take you for as long as you're going to need to.
Right,
yeah,
and you're not using it for anything other than, working, like small amounts of work, browsing, processing, whatever.
Yep.
But that like literally gives my body anxiety thinking about it.
One port.
Like I feel like I'm gonna explode right now.
Yeah, I mean I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6,
no,
7,
I'm
8.
like
I have 8.
I'm freaking out on the inside.
I have 9 ports on my MacBook Pro right now. This is the MacBook Pro Retina, and I use every single one of those ports every single day. Like, I literally use all the ports because I'm editing.
I have an older version of that, and it has. Not one port.
No, I agree, and I think you said it perfectly. You said they're trying to separate their market. Yeah, it's exactly that's what I would think they're doing.
Well, yeah, because there's lots of people that love to work on a laptop for web browsing. They need word processing, typing
essays or whatever. Yeah,
college students.
Wow, college. This is huge for college.
But fucking so it's $1,300.
I think it's $1,300. $1,300. It's 12 inches.
Fuck off, man. I feel like, okay, I've been in college. No, I'm about to flip out. Like $1,300 for one port. I'd be so angry if I was a college student. Like, even though Apple sometimes gives you that 10% discount for your student or whatever, I'd be like, no, dude, you're gonna be one port. You're gonna give me like a nice thing that I can take to school. Why doesn't it cost fucking $800? Why 13?
Because they have a brand new trackpad that you can do.
Fuck your trackpad, because I'm gonna get a fucking mouse for the thing anyways.
It's got a Retina display.
I can't tell the fucking difference when I'm like looking at shitty ass gossip websites.
One thing I did see is that
I'm gonna explode.
The camera on the new MacBooks. Guess what quality that camera is?
What quality is it?
480p. That's like 2005. They put a 480p camera on the MacBooks they announced today.
The one that faces you, like
yeah,
that you FaceTime
the one,
and shit
yeah,
with?
480. That's what you see a YouTube video is when it first uploads and it hasn't rendered yet.
And people are like, "Did you shoot this on a potato?"
That is literally what it is. It's a potato camera, 480p on a Retina display computer.
$1,300. I think that is the biggest, saddest ripoff I've ever heard of in my
Well, that
entire
makes
life.
me upset. The camera thing is kind of stupid. I'm sort of grasping the one port, although it doesn't seem it doesn't seem like the best route they could have taken, I think. I don't know.
It makes me angry. It makes me feel like Apple's trying to sell me an outlet, like one outlet. And then they also sell you all these other really cool things. But they're like, guess what? If you want to plug them in to use them, you're only going to get one plug.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I think the head of... I think the guys or the team who had been working... I don't know how the fuck anything works. So if I say something ignorant, like yell at me in the comments. But whoever was in charge...
Everybody knows that Bill's in charge of this.
Yeah. Well, your brother would probably laugh at how I'm saying this because he knows how this kind of stuff works. But basically, I would feel like the team who was in charge of the MacBook Airs, a lot of them got assigned to this new MacBook project, and they were thinking, well, what's the best way that we can make this new and sleek and sexy with a couple new features while also like really, really oversimplified, like really to the point where every parent is going to say, yeah, I'm going to get you this one when you go to college. I'm not getting you a MacBook Pro, for $2,200 when I could spend half the money and get this one for you. It's smaller. It'll fit in your backpack better when you're riding your bike to class. Like, you know what I mean? Everything about it, like, just screams college student and, casual laptop
They
owner.
really should just call it the MacBook fucking college student then. Don't fucking call it a MacBook. Like, how dare you?
Or the MacBook S, like how they came out with iPhone S, like the cheaper version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm like thinking about one point.
Are you Hy-Vee?
I'm like, I feel like I'm itchy.
Are your hands getting itchy?
I can't, like, it's literally giving me anxiety. Oh my God, I can't.
No, we don't have to keep talking about it.
It makes me so angry. I don't think I've been this angry in like
This is why I didn't tell you about it until the podcast, because I wanted this reaction to be
cool
straight
surprise,
up.
Julie. Yeah, because you know how Hy-Vee it would be.
Well, I'm happy you're giving a raw reaction to it, because this is what I like.
Oh my God. Oh.
I know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
What? No.
MacBook. One port.
Only if I can throw it. Only if I can like jam a carrot in its one port and tell it to fuck off.
You know what's fucked up is like as much like a person who's getting as Hy-Vee and frustrated as you are right now at this idea can watch the keynote and still be like, oh, that looks nice.
I'm sure it does look beautiful, and they're great salespeople.
Those motherfuckers,
and they
man.
really make you want that shit.
They're
you
good.
know what I mean?
They're good.
But that is just not functional unless you are taking it into a college class and typing your notes on it.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm seriously.
Let me interrupt you. It's basically an iPad with one port. It's not a fucking computer.
No, it's a computer. It's a computer.
My iPad has a better camera than that thing.
Yes.
Okay, think about the young girls and boys in college that are making a fucking side living off of like running a dirty webcam.
It needs to stay dirty.
How are they?
They're trying to push webcams to the past. That's why they gave a shitty camera.
How are they supposed to run their co-ed's, mini porn site from their dorm room?
You stream it from your phone because it's got a 10 times better camera and everyone's got an iPhone. That's how. Apple's like, okay, if you guys are rocking webcams to make your paycheck, get out. Use a Dell. You know what I mean? Use Lenovo.
Oh my God.
But I mean, here's the thing. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence about the port. And I think part of it could be smart and part of it could be really dumb. But this is one of those things where I really feel like in like 5 years, we're going to have a whole section of the laptop market that is going to have one port. And it's going to be the casual users market. And this is the first time, or at least the first time I've seen it. It may not be the first release of it. There might be another laptop. But I'm saying this is the first time it's been really in the public eye where a big company came out with a product that seemed like this is not cutting it. But I think in 5 years, people are going to say, you know what, remember that first, everyone thought it was crazy with one port. But now an entire giant section of the laptop population are only using one port because who the fuck needed all those ports? We didn't realize it till we only had one.
Right. Well, yeah, no, I think it's a valid point. But I think in order for the general consensus to be was that, you know, that what a forward-thinking thing that is to create one port is that you need to make it work with all the things we need to plug into our computer. Because if you're using your computer to compute things, sometimes you need to fucking plug shit into it. Yep. That's why an iPad doesn't have a port and your phone doesn't have a port, and that's okay because you don't really need to plug shit into your phone or your iPad because you're not computing with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like what you said, that it works with your power cord and it works with the USB cord, that's fine. I only need one port if it's going to work with a bunch of fucking shit. Yeah. But if you're just going to give me one fucking port and it's not going to be able to use, I can't plug in my shit, then fuck off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, honestly, I feel you. You know, I feel you. There's been so many times, everyone's been there, where you normally leave your computer on the charger when you're good, but sometimes you forget, and then you come home and you really, really need to do something urgently, and it's dead. Right. What do? Well, you can't plug anything in. You got to charge it, and then it gets to 3%. Then you try to plug in your phone. No, it's not. You got to. You know what I mean? Like that presents a serious issue. So, you know, barring there being a way around that, there's an issue.
God forbid you ever want to use your pretty little computer after college and you want to maybe, you know, plug some shit into your fucking laptop because now your job is different than what it was when you were 19.
Yeah, you got to sell that thing and get a real computer. It's not a full computer.
I know. Well, that's what I'm thinking because, you know, I had my first... like my laptop, I got it my either junior or senior year of college because I had a big desktop PC. I didn't have a laptop. Yeah. And, you know, I used that thing for a couple of years. But at that point, that was a long life because I had a tower. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like a legit PC. And I think it was my senior year, I got a white MacBook. And I ran that thing into the ground. Yeah. And then I got the other MacBook or whatever, the newer one, the older version of what you have.
The MacBook Pro, not Retina. Right. Yeah.
But I coughed up that fucking money myself and was like, all right, I want this. Like, I can do everything I want from this. Yeah. And I didn't get a desktop because I wasn't at that point where I could really just fucking, you know, sit there and work. Yeah. To be able to go. For sure. And I made all my videos on that. But, like, that white MacBook that I got my senior year of college, in the course of a year, I was using that thing for such different things. Yeah. Like, if I had gotten a computer with one port and, you know, was like, oh, this is great because I'm a senior in college and I can put it in my backpack, it's so great. And then, you know, a couple of years later I was doing something completely fucking different. Yeah. I would be so fucked. Yeah. And I would be furious.
Because it's not a cheap...
And it's not cheap when you are that young and you need to fucking, you know, make a living off of that thing. Yeah. It's your entire life. I agree. You don't realize it maybe when you buy it when you're in college until you're out of college and you can barely afford to feed yourself, but that is your workhorse.
I agree.
You know?
Yep. And it may serve a different and more important purpose than when you initially bought it.
Right. Especially given, you know, how many people, you know, upload shit from their phones and their fucking whatever. Yeah. Like, you want to plug in shit to your computer. Yeah. It seems a little bit frustrating because I can't really understand who else that computer is for at the current moment.
Well, like you said, I mean, like a person like Brett, a person who's going to be on the internet, a person who's going to be, you know, maybe typing Word documents or sending emails or listening to music or watching Netflix. Like, the casual user can 99% of the time, I feel like, get by with this thing. But the moment you want to do more with this expensive computer you bought, you can't.
Right.
So.
That's what I think is frustrating. Yeah. That's what hurts my heart.
It's one-dimensional.
Right.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because I was that person, And then my life changed drastically.
And you needed it for something else.
And I needed, like, that.
Needed.
Right. My first computer, I would, like, sometimes I would sit there and cry. And eventually it turned into a desktop because it no longer worked unless it was plugged in.
Yeah.
And
I think everyone's laptop gets to that point.
My power cord died. Like, I thought I needed that thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Oh, fucking LOL life, man.
LOL
but
life.
That's just what hurts my heart, is that the people that might buy that computer when you're really stretching yourself to make that purchase.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, my life is now drastically different. I need to sell this, but I can never get, you know, as much money back. Like, because you're going to be needing to buy a more expensive computer anyways. And then you can sell it for like half of what you bought it for.
If that. Yeah.
Because nobody wants your creepy old laptop.
Yeah.
They want
so creepy.
They want a
weird.
good deal. They want you to drive it to their house. Thanks, loves Craigslist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
And then you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. Well, it's like you know, you like it or you hate it or you get hypey about it. You're talking about it. This is a really big day. You know what I mean? It's a different type of event than Apple normally has, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be interested to see what people think.
I do too. And I'm interested to see in the coming months what happens. Like the reactions of actually touching the products. I'm sure
one port would be fantastic for some people, but given the amount of things get plugged into my computer,
and mine, like every fucking port is full.
It makes me nauseous. I feel like I'm falling off a cliff.
Well, you and me, we scoff at that kind of thing. I mean, it's like how
I don't scoff. I'm like genuinely freaking out on the inside. I know it makes me hot. Like I'm
scoff. I'm sorry.
Sweating.
Did you just say scoff?
Scoff.
Scoff. I didn't even get that reference. Now it's all right.
But I really want to know. Leave in the comments wherever you're watching or listening, how you guys feel about the Apple Watch and what you guys think about the new computer having one port that can plug in a power cord. Or,
tell us why. And tell us why one of us you disagree with, you know, or agree with. Like I want to hear why what I said is stupid or why what I said is agreeing with you.
Yeah.
But I like.
Just imagine that you have the choice of either plugging in your drive or plugging in your computer.
No, that's a headache. I don't want to think about that. That makes me angry.
My hands are actually sweating thinking about it.
Yeah, my hands are getting itchy. Now I know what Rome goes through. It's a good podcast.
Fucking can't even. I really do want an Apple Watch. I think it'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Well, if we do get them at some point, we gotta just like play with them on the podcast. Like send things.
Sure.
While you're talking, I'm just gonna send you a dick pic.
I'll give you an in-depth review of what it feels like to receive a dick pic.
I'm just gonna write. You're gonna say something I disagree with, and I'm gonna write scoff and send it to you. Oh, scoff.
I'm not gonna know what it says.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel like a bunch of scribbles.
Oh my. Am I having a heart attack? No, that's my watch.
Whatever.
Anyway, good talk.
Good talk. Good Apple podcast.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening and watching the podcast.
Yeah.
We appreciate and love you guys. We'll see you in the comments. We'll see you on the internet.
One port.
And we'll see you guys next week on Monday for another podcast. SoundCloud, iTunes, everything. Hit us up. We love you.
One port. Oh.
Even humans have like 3 ports. Oh my God. It is over. That is it. Done.